Okay, today, as you can tell by the title, I want to talk about the top three things that helped me scale to 18 self-storage facilities. And really, I've done that. You can kind of figure coming up on 7 years, but there's foundation that was laid before that, and I want to get into that. And when I say how I scaled 18 storage facilities and that amount of time, this isn't a bragging thing. There are a ton of people, a lot people, companies that have a lot more storage facilities than we do. I just know that myself 3, 4, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, especially, I would have loved to known kind of the roadmap on how to acquire and how to continue to scale, whether it's just real estate in general or self storage facilities. So that's why I'm doing this. This is not a bragging session. Most of you that listen to this know me by now and know that I'm not bragging. So hopefully this is beneficial. But number one, I had a solid foundation. I started real estate investing in 2014. Closed on my first single family deal. I think it was the very beginning of 2015, but we're under contract in 2014. So I did some education there, right? I learned real estate investing, and then I just took action. But I started with some podcasts. Actually, I say a lot of podcasts about real estate investing, and I got the bug, and I learned everything I possibly could on my own, which I've talked about, plenty of times that I did do it by myself quite a bit at the beginning. But then I learned later that networking was a good idea. So 2015, first house, first single family rental, bought 4 of them, did a flip in there. So over the course of 4 or 5 years, I had a solid foundation of real estate, um, investment real estate in general. So they were cash flowing a little bit, but there's equity in them. So when I bought them, I fixed them up, and immediately, I mean, my first house I bought for, I'll give you real numbers. I bought for, I think, 80 grand. We'll say I put maybe 10 in it. Actually, I think I bought it less than that. I think I bought it for 70. I think I put 10 in it. So we'll say I was all in at 80. Pretty quickly, it was already $100,000. So I had $20,000 in equity, which at the time I'm like, this is unbelievable. How did, the power of real estate, right? And it's funny looking back that 20K of equity, probably basically within, I don't know, 3, 6 months of owning, was huge to me. And I saw that and I started, acquiring more. And I was once a year, bought one single family per year. But it was a solid foundation on with real estate in general, equity, cash flow, and knowledge. So I feel like I had a pretty good foundation. We'll call it 5 years of that before I really got into self storage. On top of that, the foundation included savings. I had a decent job where I was making decent money, was able to save money to buy these properties. At the same time, we had equity in our house too. We bought in 2011. Yeah, 2011, our personal residence. So over time, we had equity in our house, and we used our HELOC too. Used our HELOC for some down payments, saving cash, all those things. Help build a solid foundation. And then you can fast forward a little bit, but during that time, I mean, during my 9 to 5, I had a 401k, saved money through there too. And during COVID, I think our third facility, 2020, I decided to cash that out. So not only did we have a solid foundation in real estate with the equity, the cash flow, but we also had a solid foundation just in cash in general, through savings, through equity in our house, which can hurt you if you use it the wrong way. And then we had our 401k too that I cashed out. So that was number one, had a solid foundation. Number two, I live in Ohio. I've bought all my storage facilities in Ohio. That's helped on multiple reasons. One, for me, I know the markets. And I've gotten to know the markets a lot better, but I at least knew, where these towns were, the demographics, the jobs, just what the towns, the intricacies of the towns look like. And for the most part, we buy in these smaller towns. In fact, we've got 5 locations in my hometown. So I knew these towns. The kind of piggyback on that, the owners, I bought a lot direct to seller. So I form relationships with these sellers. And I think that helped. The 5 in the town that I grew up in, I think 2 yeah, I think 2 of these sellers, which includes 4 properties, either knew of me and my family or knew my family. So that was an easy in, right? It's an easy icebreaker. They knew we weren't, some kind of scam or whatever trying to buy their storage facilities. But that without a doubt helped. And I know I've had sellers tell me, we went with you or we're going with you because you are local. You build a rapport, we trust you. And those things are huge, especially in small town Ohio. So that was a big factor for me, and still is, without a doubt, still is. And then on top of that, knowing the markets, over time now, I now know rates. I mean, I can, for the most part, kind of tell you what an average rate is for like a 10 by 10 in most towns throughout Ohio, even towns that we don't own facilities in. So I really know the market really well, which has helped. I also know demand for the most part. I mean, I've looked at deals in towns that you know, it seems like a good deal on paper, but I know over time that I've looked at these towns and I know they're saturated, they're oversaturated, and I don't want to get in those markets. So that's helped me too. So number one was solid foundation. Number two, live in Ohio, buy in Ohio. It's been easy to scale in Ohio. And then on top of that, in Ohio, our operations. We started with part-time boots on the ground is what they call it, right? Part-time helpers at each location, which at one point I think we had, I forget the exact number. It was between 6 or 8 helpers. And at that point, you're kind of it's a lot to manage, right? Even though they're part-time, it's still a lot to manage, a lot of communication with different people. It was tough. So then we moved to one person. And now that we've scaled and we kind of have a north region and south region, we have kind of 2.5 helpers. And we may, certain location, we may add another half helper. So um, that's helped with just maintenance costs too, and kind of getting everybody on the same page. Number three, and I'm going to have a bonus one too. But number three, kind of the last one is, and I talked about at the beginning, part of the foundation was education. And that's not the main thing here, but I educated myself for, we'll probably call it, and I can kind of give you the timeline, 2014 up till what, March. I was coaching basketball. That was kind of my thing on the side that I did. And I knew I was transitioning out of that because our first kid was being born. So I was already looking to get into real estate investing probably around March or April, and really doing some heavy education. Fast forward 7 months later, 8 months later, I'm under contract on a single family rental. So I did some education for, we'll call it 7 to 9 months. And then I just took action. Looking back, which, hindsight's always 2020. I wish every single house that I looked at during that time I bought or would have found a way to buy. But at the time, the rents didn't make sense. I wasn't going to cash flow, which to me is number one priority. And I didn't. So, but I did eventually take action, and I took action once a year. And I had to save up that money or use our HELOC or, the other options I talked about to buy these properties. So it was slow moving at first, but I built a solid foundation. And for number three, it's education and then action, which I talk about all the time. You have to take action, and consistent action. And it's not just buying. It's action in education. It's action in networking. It's action in making offers. It's action in operations. You have to take action. I think a lot of people, whether they're trying to get in or they're already in and they have storage facilities or whatever else it is, real estate or business in general, I think they kind of put it in cruise control. And listen, I've been there. At times I'm there. Uh, 2021, I was there without a doubt. I was on cruise control. I bought one small one, but I felt like I scaled kind of fast too, which looking back, I wish I would have bought more then. But um, that's important to always take action, right? And I've got to sometimes remind myself that you're always taking action, and that just builds momentum and snowballs. So that's number three. Fourth, which is a bonus here, and to me, it's a bonus. It's not only bonus for this list, but it's a bonus for me too, and that's time. And time creates, especially in real estate, appreciation, right? It just happens. Basically, real estate has increased in value from, we'll call it 2010 till probably 2023, 2024. We'll call it 14 years. Real estate's just kept going up, right? Maybe little small dips here and there, but kept going up. And then the really big boom was COVID, especially with self storage. So I've had the opportunity to kind of piggyback on all this, but time appreciation, COVID boom, and with those things, the appreciation, basically the value add, I've been able to take equity from current deals and use those as down payments for new deals. And then I just rinse and repeat. So I'll do another deal, increase the value, take out some equity, buy another deal. And that's what's helped me, especially probably after deal 4 or 5. My cash reserves, my 401k, all that stuff was kind of gone. So I had to, it was going to take a while to save more money to buy, because these are commercial deals, right? These are, even if I'm doing an SBA loan, it's still a lot of money down. So I had to find other ways to, without raising money, because I don't raise money, but I had to find other ways to basically put down payments down. And that's using equity from the appreciation and value that has gained in these storage facilities. And again, it's time. So the longer I have these, hopefully they continue to appreciate, and I can kind of rinse and repeat and go from there. So that is 3 with the 4th bonus. Top things that have helped me scale to 18 self-storage facilities, and actually, knock on wood, I think we may have another one coming up here soon. So it's definitely it's been fun. But yeah, again, this is not a banging on my chest type of thing. This is something that I know 3, 4, 5 years ago, especially 10 years ago, I would have loved to just known these simple things. And most of you probably kind of know them. But once you do it and you're in it, it kind of becomes a clearer picture. So hopefully this makes it a little bit clearer for you. And thanks for listening. Thanks for following along. If you find this valuable, please share. We'll see you guys next time.